Hello.
Hello, good morning, yes, sir.
Hello, good morning. So today will be very short session. So we'll just see how we can connect to Docker Hub
Okay,
and
sir.
do here and post the image. And then that's it. Then anybody can go to Docker Hub and they can download your image. Similarly, it will happen in real world. If apart from Docker Hub, people can use ECR registry or anything. So later when we start Kubernetes, we will do the ECR and other stuff also.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, let me. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So we already have seen how to create a Docker file, and we tried to run the Docker, and we were able to containerize the application. Correct? Okay. So let's see. Similarly, we can create a web server or anything like this in the Docker file. So let's see how we can do that. Let's connect to first our Docker server. Anybody has any doubt, just let me know. Just connecting to Docker server.
Because, sir,
Yep.
we have seen volume, shareable volume, no, sir.
Yes, yes.
Volume. Can we share volume between two containers as well?
No, we can. Yeah, mounting volume from the host, you can share everything. Between the containers, it's not ideal. You can, but because internally every container has a separate IP address, you need to create a network. Okay,
Okay, sir.
that we will see in the Docker classes. So by default, there is a bridge network created between them. So both the containers can communicate to each other. They can communicate to each other, but we should never share any volume between containers. Reason being, why we are using container, so that even if one container dies, our application doesn't care, because I have multiple containers running, so I can quickly rebuild container. So let's say you're sharing some important data or database, and one container dies, that data will be gone, right?
Yes.
So volume sharing from the host or maybe from S3 bucket or any outside database can be done. And of course, internal containers, they can communicate to each other. That is, definitely it can be done. So we'll see this communication in the Kubernetes. We'll see. So yeah, I'm connected to here. Let's check what is the status of my Docker. Okay, so my Docker is running. I have my Docker directory where I have my Docker as an application. It doesn't matter. Do we have any Docker running? No. So let's quickly create a new Docker file maybe. Oh, before that, let's connect to Docker Hub. Okay. So Docker Hub is a free account. You just need to have a Gmail account or any account you can connect. So let me connect. So let's say I got a project, then I need to create a new Docker image, and then I need to share it to a repository. Okay. At the moment, let's imagine that my company is using Docker Hub. Maybe I'm working on an open source project and it's not something very critical or internal. So these are the two repositories I created, my test app one and test CentOS. But these are very old repositories. Like this one I created 5 years ago. This one I created 2 years ago. I need to create a new for my application. So I will say, you can say my web app. Okay. This is a new repository I'm creating. What is the description? This is my web app image. And you can mention how to connect, what are the port export, everything you can mention in the description, so that anybody in the world who comes here and he wants to see what is happening, and how you are how to connect to this Docker, they can see the instruction here, which ports are open, everything you can mention here, right? Port 80 inside the container is open, something like this. mention everything, right? Because nobody knows what is the inside port, right? Because you are creating Docker image, you know, but how will people know which port they need to connect? Correct? So everything you can mention in the description. Currently, it's a public. I don't want private. I think private is chargeable anyway. And how to tag and push images, it is mentioned here. This is the command we can use. So you can copy it and we'll change it. So copy it here and then tag local image. What is your image name and your tag name? Then your repository name, and then you can mention the tag name. So let's update it. So what is my, let's first create the repo. So in the Docker Hub, now I created a, let's go to the repository. I created a new repository. So this is my user ID. This is my user ID and this is my repository name, my web app. Okay, this is my repository name. You click on it, you get the option how to push the images. You can see this is it. So it's already provided here. You can push the images, but before pushing the images, you need to tag the image. How will you tag? What is your local image name? You can mention any local image name, Docker or anything. Give it a tag and then give it a repo name and tag. We'll see. We'll see. No problem. So this is the command I will be using to first tag the image. So tagging means you are telling your Docker image which image you are using, what is the version it is. Maybe it's a 1.0. You remember while using Nginx and other images, we see a lot of tags, right? So what is the tag? Tag is this. Let's go to Nginx. What is tag? Tag is this. Which version they are using, 1.2.3, 1.2.2. So what is the version I'm using, that I will define via the tags. If I need to update it, I just need to update the tag. That is why the tagging is there. Okay. So we will be using this command. So let's come here and let's create first Docker file. Okay. So I already have a Docker file. Now I can update it. Okay. So I already created a Docker file, this one from Ubuntu. Okay. From Ubuntu, that's fine. And let's remove everything. Label is fine. Let's remove everything. Let's create from. First line is clear for everyone. From Ubuntu 20.04 is the base image,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
Label means who is going to manage it and who is maintaining it. Correct. Now
Yes.
comes the run. On this container, I want to run some commands. First, I want to update it. App get update. So Wilson run apt get update. Okay. And after that, I can combine. Yesterday I've seen I can combine multiple run commands, right? Multiple run commands in one line so that the less layers are created. But anyway, it's a small image. Yesterday we have seen how to combine. Today we will see how to run individual commands one by one. Second, I want to install, let's say, a web server. So what is the command to install a web server? apt-get install Apache web. That's it. Come here, copy it. So I'm going to install Apache 2 web server in this container image. Okay. So whoever is running this image, whoever is running container using this image, he will have Apache 2 installed by default inside the container. So he don't need to manage the Apache 2 dependencies. He don't need to install the update. He don't need to check the operating system version Ubuntu. Any operating system they are running, they will get Ubuntu base image. They will get Apache 2 web server. That is what my Docker file is doing. Correct. After that, it is just cleaning the packages. So this is just a command. You don't need to worry. And just run it. Again, run, paste. Okay. And then I need to expose the port. So today, how this is a web server. It will connect to a web port, right? It is a web server. It needs to be connected to a port. For example, either port 80, port 443, or any port, right? So you need to tell inside the container which port it should be connected. Port 80 inside the container. Host port is up to us. We can define. Okay. And then you can type any command or entry point. What will be the command? Command I can put like this. I can put echo. Without square brackets, you can type, but yeah. All good from Apache 2. That's it, right? So anybody has any doubt in this container image? We are creating Docker file. Everything good? Let's save
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah, let's save it. My Docker file is saved. After every instructions I have written, after you save the Docker file, You need to build it, then you need to create an image, then you can run the image. That's it. Correct? So Docker file is created. Now I need to build it. But this time I'm not only building it, I have to tag it. So that means I will say Docker build. I want to tag this image -t. What is the tagging I need to use? I will be tagging like this. So Docker, either I can use this Docker tag, or while building the container, I can use the command docker tag -t, your repo name and tag name. This part you can do. So what is my repo name? My repo name is my web app. What is my repo name? My repo name is my web app, right? This is my repository name, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I will say my web app. This is the name. And after the repo name, I need to put colon and tag name. Perfect. So then I will say colon, and maybe it's a version 1.0. Clear this command? Docker build, I'm building -t for tagging, my repo name, my web app, colon, what is the tagging? Version 1.0. And where is my Docker file? In the current directory and dot, because it's in the current directory. If it is under /var/lib, any other place, I will put the complete file, complete path. But since my Docker file is in my current directory, I will push dot enter. So it will do everything. It is reading the packages, updating it, installing Apache, everything it is doing. Correct? Some delaying packages, some warnings will be coming. Is there any major error? You will see in the red and you will see. So choose the geographical area. So let's say number 9 is my India. Enter. I think I need to type India. So you see, it failed. If you see, it did not fail, because after India, I need to mention India. I mentioned 9. I don't see some layers it created, but it could not tag it. So let's run again. I need to type full name, but I typed number only. Because in AWS, if you work, you need to choose the number. Okay, so let's type in any region you can click. Please select the geographical area in which you live. Subsequent configuration. Okay, okay, Indian. Something new with the Apache 2. Apache 2. So let's see what is happening with Apache 2. Sorry, APA. You can see Ubuntu Apache 2. What are the instructions? It will tell, right? Because I'm using that commands only. Now current Apache. Looks fine. Oh yeah. So I think hyphen time zone we need to mention, right? Time zone we need to mention. So we'll see why it is not running. Somebody came. Okay, let it run for some time. Okay, let's see. Run with US. Because I think by default, what is the time zone it is taking? UTC. Africa, Australia, ETC, America. Anyway, that's not a problem because it's a Apache 2 stuff, right? It has nothing to do with Docker. So let's edit the Docker file. We'll fix it later, maybe. Monday I will see what is the problem. I should not waste time. So let me do one thing. Let me create one more thing. So what I'm going to do is I can maybe, yeah, that's fine. I don't need to do anything else actually. Create any directory. mkdir slash my web app. Okay. So I'm creating my web app and let's copy some file there. Copy app dot yes and any file, JavaScript file, and I'll push it to my web app. Before that, I need to mention, remember work dir, right? What is my work dir? Work dir will be slash. So what it will do these things. It will create a work directory. Even if you don't mention, it will do. And then it will copy the app.js to my web app directory. And my app.js should be in your local machine, right? So now let's change command a little bit. All good. Because usually we use Nginx and also Apache 2. I'm not very familiar. All good from app.js. Just to make sure everything is fine. Cool. Port ATV expose, that's fine. Almost all the basic commands, everybody clear, right? What are the Docker commands? From, label, run, copy, add. Let's say you have any tar file, you can add that tar file to a location. Or maybe we can create a tar file. Let's see. So after copying this, I can do one more thing. I can use add command and let's say will be file dot tar and I will put it into the same directory. Correct. So I'm adding a file also. Let's say there are some URLs you want to put inside the container. Okay. URLs means you want to install some application or some libraries that you can install via add. Just a moment. Let me check one more thing. Just a moment. Yeah, so usually, yeah, this is the example I was looking in my Docker file, which I have created. So what happens? What is the best use case of add? We can do copy via also. So when you do add means, let's say you have an Artifactory. Do you guys know what is Artifactory? So Artifactory is the local repository. So let's say JFrog Artifactory. So in lot of companies, they have their own universal JFrog repository or other, but this one is most popular. So what will happen? All the packages and repositories and log software binaries, developers or the operations guy will push to this Artifactory. Now I want to, but this is a secure Artifactory, not like Docker Hub or Internet. So in real world, in let's say you are working for a financial company or some company, you will not download anything directly from the internet. You can, but ideally every package, every library, every small package will be tested. And once it is successful, there are no vulnerabilities. It is very secure. People will push it to the JFrog or any other Artifactory registry. From that Artifactory, you can copy it to container. In that case, I will use add command and there will be a URL https colon my rt whatever my artifactory dot any company you can name, right? Amazon.com, then your repo name, any repo name, let's say web app, and then there will be a file called file.tg. So this is the file which will be stored inside the Artifactory in the container. Correct? And I need to push it to the container. And this is not in my local machine. I cannot use copy command, right? Because this is not in my local machine. Where is this file located? This file located in my Artifactory server. That is why I will use add
Add.
command. Exactly. Then you can put it here and give it any directory or name, maybe test. So now this Artifactory, which is present in the any repository or in a URL, you want to copy, get a URL data, you want to copy an HTML data, you cannot use copy from the different application, then you will use add command. Got it? That is what I wanted to give you, the real life example. So let's say in future in your company, if you get a work and somebody tells you, well, these packages are in Artifactory, you can pull down to Docker image, need to use add command. Rest everything you can search, what is the file path name, what is the location I need to put inside the container. Okay, clear? This is exactly a real life example that we use. Anyway, we don't have anything here, so we can, but you know what is add command now. That is the uses of add. Export, CMD, everything looks fine. Now let's save it. Again, build my web app. This time it should be fine. Okay. Okay. So you see what is the error I got? It said copy command failed. Can you tell me why copy command failed? Let me open the Docker file. Now tell me why this copy command failed. Anyone?
Uh, I believe app.js is not in our local.
You got it. You got it. Correct. You got it. Very good. So we don't have app.js. What it will copy? So just enter. This is from app.js. Right. Okay. It was not there. So Docker file while creating, it will give you very intuitive error. So you can easily find it, what is going on. Now it's very fast. Successfully build the image. After that, it has successfully tagged the image. What is my tag? My repository name, tag name. That is what I had to do. My repository name, tag name. That is what I have to tag. Correct? So my repo is tagged. So let's clear and let's do Docker images. So my web app is created. What is the tag? Version 1.0, image ID, it's 113 MB. So I have created my Docker image for my company only because I have added repository URL. I have added my custom code. So it's a full-fledged application now. Now it is ready by the developers to deploy it. Maybe you have a weekly deployment cycle or somebody. So maybe you are the container or Docker container guy. You created the image. Now you pushed it to the Docker Hub or ECR. And as soon as you push it to the Elastic Container Registry, it will trigger a pipeline and then it will deploy the container. This is the little bit automation you can do in company. But right now we want to only push it to the repository. And which repository we are using here? We are using here Docker Hub, right? So let's come. This is my repository. Currently, there is no file, no container. I want to push it to here. So the command is very simple, but before the command, I need to connect to the Docker. How can I push from my local machine to Docker Hub? I cannot. I need to log into the Docker. So the command is Docker login. I already shown you how to connect from local machine to Elastic Container Registry. If you remember, there are different commands to get credentials and everything. So here I will do Docker login. Let's say I have an ECR registry, Elastic Container Registry, which you will have in real life, not Docker Hub. And I don't know how to log into the container. You don't need to know. You will come to here. You will come to private registry. Okay, you don't have any. So you can come, actually go back. Yeah, get started. Create a repository. Okay, this is the repository name I'm creating. Just create a repo. And inside the repo, view push command. So this is the first command. First thing is log into the repository. How will you log in ECR? Retrieve the credential token using this command. So if you are using ECR X instead of Docker login, because right now I'm connecting to Docker, but here you will connect to Elastic Container Registry. You will use this command. Okay. After that, you can build your Docker image. We already have built Docker build -t web app, not required here. After that, you need to tagging. We already did the tagging. This part we already done. So everything is same except little credential will be changed. How to connect will be changed. That's it. Rest everything will remain same. After that, you will do Docker push and whatever is the URL for your ECR registry. As simple as that. Every command will begin. What in real life you will just copy and paste. Just here you need to create your own custom Docker file. That's it. Nothing else. In fact, I can do right now. I can show you. Once I push it to Docker, I can push it to there, maybe in next class or Kubernetes. Okay, because I need to create a new credential. I need to connect to this account, right? These things I need to do. So everybody understood how to connect from your local machine to the Elastic Container Registry, right? Yes.
So tagging will be the same for both the accounts, right?
Yes, tagging will be same, but just tagging name will be changed because in tagging you need to use your repo name. For example, this is my repo name, colon latest. And here my repository name in Docker Hub is very small, my web app. And URL is simple, hub.docker.com. It will understand. But Elastic Container Registry in AWS, everything has a specific URL name. So what will be my repository name? My account ID. What is my account ID? This is my account ID. Then the docker.ecr.us east one, which region you are sending. Because in AWS, there are multiple accounts, there are multiple regions, and then amazon.aws.com, then your repository name. So this will little change, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this will. Why? Because this is my account ID. I am currently in US East one. So let's say I am logging to this same account, different region. My repository URL will change, right? I am connecting to different account, different region. My repository URL will change. So that is why, based on the region, account, and repository name, this URL will change. But in real life, you will simply come here and copy paste. You don't need to change anything except here you will create a Docker file and run this command: Docker build -t web app and dot. That's it. Cool. So what we did was, I'll show you. What we did was, while building this Docker image, I use Docker build my web app call. So while building, I tagged it. Here, they are first building and tagging it with web app only. The tag will be web app. So in ECR, the image tag should be same as your repository name. That is the condition. So that is why the tagging should be web app. Why tag is web app? Why not anything else? Because web app is my repository name. Got it? Everyone clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Cool,
Yes, clear,
cool.
sir.
Yes. And then you can tag to the complete repository, because then you need to tell. So here tagging is local. If you run this command and you will type Docker images, tag will appear in the local image, but you need to tag it to the repository so that you can push. How will ECR know that this is coming to an authenticated resource? I need to tag it to the ECR repo. Once it is done, then you can push. It's very straightforward actually, but yeah. So yep, this is done now, but this time I need to send it to the login. So I will do Docker. I need to put my username. I'm Docker login. I'm successfully logged into container. Sorry, Docker Hub. Now let's see what is my image name. This is my image name, my web app. Okay, let's come to the Docker Hub. This is my repository. How do I push the image for the web app? I will just use, and what is the tag name? I need to remember the tag name. So copy this command. I already have copied here, right? Web app tag name. Come to here. What is the tag name? v1.0. So paste it. I'm already logged into container. I need to change the tag name. What is my tag name? v1.0. That's it. Enter. An image does not exist locally with SI and VF might. Okay. So my repository is tagging looks fine. My web app. Oh, so tagging is not my web app. Tagging is just v1.0.0, right? Okay, what is happening? Docker push. This is my URL name. This should be my repository name. The push refers to repository and image does not locally with tag this. Let's see clearly. Let's see. So it's giving me some error. Let's see. Let's debug this. Okay. So this is my repository name. This is my tag name. Okay, got it. So the thing is, it should be my repository name. Okay, what is happening? Docker push. Let's verify the command. Docker push new repo name and the tag name. Yeah, that is what I do. Okay, okay, got it, got it. So let's do one thing. Let's tag it with this format. The ECR and this is maybe a little different. So we can do is Docker tag. What is my image name? Image name is
My web app.
exactly. Let's change it. It's getting confused. And tag name should be
V1.0.
right. Now make it a repo name. My web app. This is my web app. And here you can put a tag name. Any tag name you want to mention. I'll put it same. That looks fine. Now look Docker images. Yep, that just looks fine. Now let's Docker push. The same command. Docker push. Uh, the push refers to repository Docker data. Yeah, that's what it
Do
is,
we
right?
do commit, sir, actually? Commit,
Commit is not
commit,
required.
commit in push.
No. Commit is not required actually. Docker. No, it's not giving that. It says that refers to repository. The image does not exist locally with this tag. So that is what it is saying. The let's see Docker. What command I ran while building? No problem. Let's debug. That is the situation we'll see. So Docker build and then tag should be SINVX. Okay. 007 slash my web app :v100. Okay. That is what it is saying. An image does not exist locally with tag. And this is my tag SINVX and then my web app. Correct. So if that is the tag they're looking for, let's see. Sorry. Okay, image. So yeah, so this is the tag now created for later SINVX my web app, correct? So now let's push. And now I can create one more tag 1.0. That's fine. Let's see. Yep. So yeah, you got it. So now I'll tell you what. I mean, it's not a big error, but now it is pushing. So what I need to do was I need to tag it similar to AWS. I need to tag it in a format that my account ID slash my repository name should be there. So how will you tag your image? Your account ID slash your repo name. Got it? So that is what I did. So I did was I tagged with my account ID in Docker Hub slash your repository name. Okay.
Okay.
That is the local tagging. Similar. That is what I was telling here. Similar to in this here. Tag it with your local ID. After this, after this, this is my Docker Hub account and this is my Docker Hub repository name. I tagged in the local image. And then while pushing, how will Docker know where it should go? I connected to Docker login. So Docker login will say, okay, this is the user ID. This is the repository name. And now you give it a tag in Docker Hub. So this tagging here you do is for local. What the earlier command I ran. This tagging. This is for local SINVX app. This is for my local image SINVX my app. This is a local tagging. And once you push to the Docker Hub, you will use the same image name repository and give it a tag in the Docker Hub. So let's say in future somebody says, well, this is not the correct, we'll update. So we already pulled, it's done. Let's go to Docker Hub. Let's refresh. And this is the latest image is created here, right? You can click on this and then you will see what are the instructions we have used. CMD, basic, then this is the app get updates. Inside directory, that is what it is doing. It copied the file, it exposed the port, command echo. So remember, this is what we were seeing while we are exploring Nginx image, Ubuntu images. So that is the Docker file somebody has created officially and they pushed it. Similarly, now my Docker image is this. It has this size 54 MB created by me. It's the latest one. Operating system is Linux AMD 64. That is what everybody can. And this is my repository. Okay. And this is the image name. Is it pulled anytime? No. This is the latest tag. Let me see. If I have any tag here, no. Let's now push a new tag. Let's say somebody says, I need to update this image, right? This time somebody says, I need to update this image. So let's update the image. There is a new, there are new, there is some vulnerability. Somebody says this is not the correct Docker file. So let's update it. How do I update it? Maybe just add the new command. That's it. This is from, so you see, there's a mistake. There was a mistake. We found the mistake. We fixed the mistake, right? There was two from, that was not required. So now we fix the mistake. So the mistake is fixed. Everybody saw what was the mistake. Let me show you. So you see there's a mistake, right? To from. I did not did intentionally, but somehow there is a mistake. Now I need to fix it. Somebody pulled the Docker image, they ran the Docker image, and they said, well, there's a problem. I see to from, it's not good. Client is saying, well, what is this? So I said, oh, it's a small mistake. I fixed it. I fixed this guy, and I saved the Docker image. Now it's a new Docker file. So that means I need to again create a container image and again build it. So let's build again. And this time, let's put v1.2. Sorry. So that is what I think we can do. Yep, that should be done. My web app colon v1.2. Let's enter. Build Docker images. It is built. It is built. So this is the same repository name, but this time the tag is v1.2. Again, I need to push. It's a new image, right? I updated 1.2. Again, oh no.
v.1.2, sir, actually. It is.
That's right. It says I made a mistake. It should be v1.2. Yeah, you got it. Thanks. So now our new image v.1.2 is sent to the Docker Hub. And I made some, this will be a real life situation. Every time, if you are working in a Docker team, you have to do it all the time. Somebody will come to you, well, this is not working. Because not everybody has rights to, make changes to the container, because these containers are deployed hundreds and thousands of times. So any small mistake can make entire application crash, because not one container runs in production, right? There will be thousands of containers. So maybe you have the access, you need to be very careful. And obviously it will be not be Docker, it will be ECR. So it's a little easier. But anyways, this is done. So let's refresh. So now this is the latest 1.2. So now people will understand that, oh, now you can say the new tag is there. You can get that image and run that image. So you can go here and see here. Or let's say how people will use here. So they can come to repository and they will see, okay, this is the my web app application. They can download it. How you can download it? I think you can just do docker pull and get this image. So little change. Let's see. Let me see how I can. I mean, I already have this image locally. So you guys can try to find out this image, my web app. Once you connect to Docker, try to find out this image. You should be able to download, right? Basically click on it and you can just say docker pull and this command, my web app and this tag v1.2. You should be able to download this image and using it. Correct? So yeah, I mean, Docker Hub is just a weird example, not in real life situation. But once we connect to the ECR for Kubernetes, we will see the exactly how it should be done in private. But yeah, this will also work. I think you all have Docker Hub account, right? It's a free account you can create. All right, you can upgrade for some money. I don't need it. Anybody has any doubt in Docker Hub tagging and pushing?
No, sir, I am clear.
You clear, right? Yeah. I think now they have upgraded this management. You can see what is the untagged image only. Do we have any untagged image? How many collaborators are there? Okay. What are the settings you want to create? Make it a private. And let's say in ECR also, you want to scan your image for any vulnerabilities. So maybe you installed a package from open source, any Nginx or any, you remember recently we have Log4j vulnerability. There are a lot of vulnerabilities. So you don't want to push that unsecure images to the production. So before sending it there, what we can do, we can enable image scanning. So what it will do, it will scan the images, all the layers. All the layers mean it will scan my all Docker file layer like this one. It will scan all the packages. Okay, this is the package I'm updating. So this is the file, maybe it's a local file. So all the packages it will scan. And if it is there any known vulnerability means if there are any recent bugs available in the packages, Nginx, Apache, or whatever you are using, it will highlight. But it's not a free, it's paid. It's a paid stuff. That is what you have to do. In here also, what you can do is as soon as you push an image, you create an image, you get that option. You see, it said scan on push. That means as soon as you push the image, it will scan the image and it will run it. Right. So maybe uh, let's see. Let's create a here only. I'm going to create an IAM user and we'll push an image to ECR only. Okay. We have 5-10 minutes more. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do now, so how do I connect to AWS account? Everybody knows I need to create an access key and user ID, right? Without it, I cannot connect, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm now going to, so Docker Hub was a example. Now I'm now going to connect to it. I'm going to, yeah, maybe I'll use password also. So I'm creating a user so that I can connect to ECR repository, right? Download my stuff. Okay. So how do I connect to ECR? I need to connect to configure this. Everybody knows this part, right? AWS configure. You know this thing, right? So in order to connect to AWS, you need to install AWS CLI and get the credentials and access it. Is there anyone who don't know what is AWS configure? Anyone? Okay. I assume everybody knows because this is like very first thing for the AWS stuff. If not, we'll discuss later. Default region is US East 1. That is my default region. What is the default output? I want to get it in there. Anyway, I'll remove it. So AWS. So you want to know that, let's say in real life, you will have multiple AWS accounts and you want to know which account you are connected to. So you will type AWS STS. This is the command you can remember. Get caller identity. Enter. So it will tell you which account you are connected to, what is your user ID, and what is your username. So this is my username. So I'm correct account. Maybe you have a prod account, non-prod account. You just don't want to push anything to prod account, right? So that is why if you are in doubt, you can run this command so that you can see what is the user ID you are connected. I'm currently connected to right account. Account number ending with 223. Let's come here. Account number ending with 223. All right, cool. So this is correct. Now let's come to the ECR. Now I created an ECR repository and I will say scan on push. It will scan the image while I push and save it. Right. So this is my image URL. So in the Kubernetes, or you create, how will you get this image? I can copy this URL, and in Kubernetes cluster, I can give this URL, so that any container or pod which is created, it will be created using this image, container image. That is why this URL is generated. Correct? So let's get into it. Now let's see how to push an image to this Elastic Container repository using the same Docker file which we have, right? So let's cp, oh, anyway, that's fine. We have a Docker file here. Yep. No, not here. Yeah. So this is the Docker file I already have, right? This Docker file is already there. Now I created a Docker file. Everything is fine. Now I need to push it to Elastic Container Registry, not Docker Hub. Docker Hub is for open source, for testing. In real life, you will use either AWS, GCP, these things. So what is that? What is the first thing you need to do? I'm using Mac OS Linux. Copy this command. That's it. Nothing you need to do. Copy this, come here, paste it, enter. Done. Login succeeded. Okay. Now, second thing is I need to build. Just copy this command. Make sure Docker file is in the present. It was saying. Make sure your Docker file is in the same directory. Build it. Done. Correct. Docker is tagged with web app latest is my tag. You want to see Docker images. Web app latest. This is the tag we did, right? Now, after this, you need to build this complete, tag your image so you can push to image repository. Copy this. You don't need to do anything. Just copy it, paste it. So this image, now it will be tagged with ECR repository. Done. After that, I need to push this image to Elastic Container Registry. I will come here. I will paste here, enter. It's very secure, very authenticate, and only if you have access to ECR repository, then you will be able to push it. It says image is pushed. Refresh it. You see the image is already pushed. And what is the scan status? In progress. So it is scanning this image for any vulnerabilities. And now anybody can come here and copy this URL and start pulling this container and using it. And you see 3 vulnerabilities are defined here. You can click on it. So this bash Ubuntu, there's the one where I can fix it, systemd. So it will tell what you need to do. Maybe I need to update the Ubuntu. Okay. So all these things will be here. So your security team or you can update the image and see. There's nothing critical, or this is informational. You can ignore it. Low, typically also it's not big deal. Anything with severity high and critical, we need to fix it immediately. The issue was addressed, improved. Issue is on iOS 15.7 and iPad and macOS this. So it will tell you what is the issue and whether it's applicable to you or not. Maybe you're not using an iOS application or any other operating system, whatever. So that is how you will push the image to Docker Hub, and that is how you push the image to ECR repository. Is there anyone who has any doubt?
Sir, in real time,
Yep.
will they provide access key and secret key?
Yes,
Access
yes.
and secret key
Yeah, that
for
is what
free
they will
user?
do. Yes, you will do. I will add for you also. But what I will do is, what is your name? Ajay?
Narendra.
Virendra?
Narendra, sir. Narendra.
Oh, yeah, Narendra, I know. Narendra. Narendra dot, last name?
K.
K. Is that it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you access for both, and it will give you an auto-generated password. You can change it. You can change it. That is how in real world you will do. Exactly real world. You get the access, and depending, you need the access key. If you need the access key, maybe you want to do something development activity like the command line. You want to use this. Some users, like business users, they will just go to console, click here and there. You can give only management access. But for you, I am giving you both access. And I don't give you a password. It's not a good practice. Why should I give you a password? I can log in as you and do something wrong. It will auto generate a password, and user must reset a new password. Okay. Next come. But while giving you the permission, I will not give you admin access. because you can do anything, because you are a general user, you are coming from business team. So based on the requirement, I will give you access. Maybe I can give you EC to full access. Maybe I can give you S3 access. Maybe I can give you now ECR also. Elastic Container Registry, right? Elastic Instance Container. I can create an Elastic Container Registry full access. That's it. And tags, any tag you can make something. Usually it will be like user, what is your email address? Then it will be anything, right? DevOps. Business unit, maybe it's an product line or whatever business you need. This is the tag so that people can understand. Your name will be Narendra.k, but let's say something happened with the user ID. I see you deleted something. How will I track? Who are you? Narendra.k. I will see by this tag. I can contact your manager, contact your team. Come to next. You have 3 accesses. You can change your password policy by default, obviously, otherwise you cannot. You have given everything. Create user. Done. Then I will download this file. I will open this file. I will not open, obviously. And then I will send you over the email. So your username will be Narendra K. This is a one-time password. This is access key. This is secret key. This is your console login. If you want to, not like this. If you want to use, I will share it with you. Okay. So that is, now you can connect to this AWS account and only perform 3 things: EC to full access, S3 and ECR. You cannot do anything else. You cannot create a database. You cannot create a registry, nothing. You can do only 3 things because that is the only permission I gave you. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Cool, cool. So that is how you will do. All right. So I think that should be it. Okay, I clicked on your user ID, so it logged me out because now I logged in as a different user, right? Okay, so let me connect to your user. Let me connect to Narendra.k. I mean, yeah, it's a one-time password, so you can try. I will share it with you so you can connect and see. You will have very limited access. And obviously, it's a test account for me. So you can create your own free tier account and you can start working on it. So anybody has any doubt in today's session? This is the real life problem you will face. How will you challenge, how to tag, how to detag, how to push image, how to pull image, everything you will do. Cool?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Docker is done. Do your practice. I will share these slides, everything today. On a WhatsApp group, everybody is there, right?
Yes, sir. Everyone is there.
So I will share it on the WhatsApp group only.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
you have class on Docker Swarm, sir?
No, because we are learning Kubernetes, right? So Docker Swarm will do the same thing. It is a container orchestration tool. So why either you can learn Docker Swarm or Kubernetes. In real world, in job, 99% people prefer Kubernetes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but it has limitation Docker Swarm. So Kubernetes had way more feature ahead than Docker. In fact, if you go to Docker documentation, even they suggest to go Kubernetes, and Docker Swarm is their own tool. So even Docker says is work with Kubernetes.
So from Monday onwards, we will start Kubernetes, sir.
Monday onwards, yeah, Monday onwards we can start. But I think one day I will give you for practice. So any doubt you have in Docker, that we can cover Monday, and little definition we can start Monday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Done. Okay. So I'll share you the document. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye, sir.